Hey everyone, if you've wanted to start a business for a while, you might have had conversations with yourself that sounded something like this. Oh, that idea sounds really brilliant. I wonder if I can make it work. I wonder if it would work. That's what we always ask ourselves, right? I wonder if it'll work. And to me, that's actually not the best question that we should be asking. In fact, there's one question that I believe is more important than that when we don't ask it, can make even the best business idea, the most promising business idea, really dangerous. So here's what I'm talking about. If you imagine a bunch of different buildings in a particular neighborhood, and there are ladders leaned up against each one of these buildings. When we evaluate different business ideas and we're considering them, you can kind of envision the buildings being each a different business idea. And what we do is we choose one building and we say, hey, I wonder if that would work. I wonder if I started climbing that ladder against that building, if I could get to the roof of it, to where I've got this awesome view. And that's what we think about. But what we forget to ask ourselves is, what is the view actually going to look like up there? And what I mean, it has really nothing to do with success in general. Am I going to like being successful? Well, to me, that's a silly question. Like, if you have more freedom than you have now, that's going to be more enjoyable. Even it's not going to make you happy, but it's certainly not going to make you less happy. Whoever you were is who, it's going to be basically magnified, whatever building you end up standing on the top of. What we're talking about here is the specific nuances of each building. Let's say one of them faces a landfill and the other one faces beachfront against an ocean in Florida or somewhere. You're obviously going to enjoy standing on the one that's by beachfront, even though you made it to the top of either building, right? So if you think about it, there are different nuances of each type of business idea. If you do not like detail-oriented work at all, and you can't stand paperwork and you don't like the office environment, the last thing you should do is start a law firm, because when it becomes successful, your job is going to be to review paperwork, to manage people who are reviewing paperwork. Everything's going to happen in an office setting except for the courtroom in some situations. So you're basically going to be creating something that is going to give you a lifestyle that you're not going to enjoy living. Same thing goes for any other business. If you love going on spontaneous weekend getaways, the last business in the world you should start is a wedding photography business. Could you be a successful wedding photographer? Maybe, probably. Let's say you're an amazing photographer, you love weddings, you're great at marketing, you're great at operations, you could probably be a killer wedding photographer. But let's say you build one. Let's say that you're doing $2 million a year in revenue. What does that mean? Most likely it means that every weekend for the majority of the year is going to be booked for you. Even when you build a company, let's say that you get photographers underneath you, you're still going to have the most active, the most involved parts of your company taking place on the weekends. All the fires that you need to put out are going to happen on the weekends, and that's really never going to end unless someday you hire a CEO or you sell the company. So consider the benefits of being successful at a certain company before you start it, not just whether or not you can make it work. And what you'll find is that a lot of times the beauty, and we're going to talk about this more later, but the beauty of entrepreneurship or starting a small business is that it doesn't matter really at the end of the day if you're starting a nail salon or a landscaping company or whatever. Once you build it to a certain size, if you're doing it right, it all kind of starts to look the same, because you're managing finance, you're managing sales, you're managing operations, and that's what a business owner does, and you have people below you who are actually doing the day-to-day stuff. So to sort of reel all of this in, what you want to consider anytime you come up with a business idea is you want to sort of project forward in your mind and ask yourself, okay, when this is working, what will my life look like? When this is working, what will it require me to do every day? When this is working, how much freedom am I really going to have? And what all of this really comes down to is the reason why you want to be an entrepreneur or start a business in the first place. For me, that reason is freedom. For somebody else, it might be adventure. So for someone else, they might want to start a company that requires them to travel a lot and see the world. For me, I want freedom to be able to travel the world when I want to, but also stay at home when I want to. I want the freedom to be able to pick and choose. And that's more valuable to me than adventure. So think about what it is that you want to get, that end benefit from starting a business, and then use that as your guideline to help you decide what type of business idea is best for you and what type you should start. The only thing worse than never having the courage to start something that could give you the freedom that you always wanted, is to start something and risk your money and your energy and your time and put all of this work into building a business that makes your lifestyle even not as good as it is now. So think through these things. I know this is a little bit of a shift for some of you, as it was for me, but think about what it is you want and use that as your guide. It all comes down to your values at the end of the day. So if you're in a position where you're thinking about starting a business right now and you're evaluating different ideas and really trying to find one that sounds like the perfect idea for you, then I want to give you a little bit of a sneak peek of something that we're working on right now. And it's really the first step in these entrepreneurship training courses that we've been telling you about for several weeks now. And that is a program that's going to help you start identifying amazing business ideas that exist all around you. A lot of people think that finding a good idea is the hard part. And in my experience and in conversations with all of my entrepreneur friends, what I've discovered is that ideas are actually all around us. And it's the way we're thinking that is preventing us from seeing them, noticing them, and taking action on them. So stay tuned. We're going to be bringing you some really cool training courses soon that are going to help you find your perfect idea and take action on it. And in the meantime, make sure that you like this post below, comment, share, check us out on Instagram and YouTube. You know the pitch by now. Can't wait to talk to you soon.